All right. What up? It's your man 50 got Richie Rich coming to you with another retrospective review. Edition of retrospective reviews. We're here, we look at, and yes, so if you've been following my reviews like most recently, and wanna even just before I continue, I really wanna say a big thanks to everyone who watched my video, shared, and subscribed. As I was saying before, I've been looking at the House Party series. House Party 1 that came out in 1998, House Party 2 that came out in 1991, then the break that from New Line Cinema, the House Party series, Last Act, which is really favorite of my gameplay project. On this one, we're going to be looking at the third installment, end to the trilogy, House Party 3.
Featuring the rap duo of Kid and Play, Mr. Christopher Kid, Reid, Christopher Play Mod, and as I said, like that was like the era of like that kind of New Jack swing, hip hop culture that got really took the world by storm, and as I mentioned in my earlier reviews with like Living Single, Queen Latifah was one of the ones around the same time with Kid and Play, Will Smith, Heavy D, Ice-T. But why I definitely mentioned like Will Smith, of course, because he had that same kind of comedic kind of like style that Kid and both Play represented. Like obviously, like this was the third one of the trilogy. We started off with House Party 1, which is such a phenomenal film, and that because for me that film is such a perfect 10 out of 10 film. Like the imagery and the culture that's presented in that film, it's a perfect film. Mainstream acceptance, so much mainstream praise, because when they first broke in, they were seen as like that kind of, like I said, I mentioned Will Smith and DJ Jazzy Jeff, which I'm pretty sure Will Smith got as well. They were seen as that kind of goofy, not too like gangster rappers. These weren't like Tupac Shakur. You know what I mean? They were like, as they said, they were the ones who were rapping, but they had a smile on their face. They were more like having a good time and having a good music beat to go along with it. And definitely like the success of House Party like catapulted them to like more mainstream. They were able to get cartoons, they were able to get like more appearances on the media circuit, like appearing obviously on the Arsenio Hall show and other midnight talk shows at the time, guest appearances in TV sitcoms like Martin, The Cosby Show. They had their own cartoon series. It's just that Kid and Play was such a big thing in that late 80s, early 90s period. Like, after the success of the first House Party 1, because again, I think it was one of them things, like House Party 1 was such a like overnight success that the studio couldn't comprehend like how they gained so much like popularity from that film. So it quickly followed up with a sequel, which was titled, House Party 2, The Pajama Jammy Jam. But the second one, Class Act always felt, in my opinion, as the definitive sequel to the first House Party, where like the series went to go. Why I mention is where the series like actually went. Everything that Kid and Play like definitely built up. I hate to say, I think it ultimately ended with this film, the third installment in the House Party. To me, I know probably a lot of people have got their opinions and that, but to the general consensus of like, people I know who have watched this film, this always felt like an end of an era. Managed to form their unity and become the group of Kid and Play. So whilst they're in these films, they're basically playing themselves, if you get what I mean. It's like it's not too much acting like that's going on, because they literally just, the stuff that's going on is their mannerisms. How Kid is always more like he's like a kid. He's like he always needs someone to watch over him. He's like a goody two shoes, he's like very like charming, very like a sensible dude. That's how Kid's always like, and play, as it was shown in class, play is always seen as like literally like play, which is short for player. That's how he is in this film, especially. Like, if you've seen the other stores, man, how play is like. Chris Mine's character plays even more of that to the max in this film. It's just like, because what it is if I touch a bit on the story, what it is like how it starts off is Kid, he's basically split up from his girlfriend, who was the fantastic actress Tisha Campbell Mine, and she played Sydney in the first house party, and the second one as Kid's girlfriend. So remember, like in House Party 2, if anyone's seen, like, they went to college, that was like his sweetheart. It was really comes up. It's just a very like strange kind of direction to go, because immediately it's already brought its attention that Kid's got a new woman. Like Sydney just went, and it's like there's no real explanation why Kid and Sydney are separated. It's like mentioned in a little text and that, but there's no real reason like why they're not together in this. Because you follow them, for the first 2 films, and they're not together. Who's introduced as Kid's new girlfriend is Angela Means, who, if anyone knows anyone, Angela Means was the girl who played actually I think Felicia in Friday, which actually, funny enough, followed this a year after. So she is a Kid's fiance, who he's gonna like get married to in this, which there is like a great scene of like at the beginning, like similar to the second house party. Kid has a dream at the beginning. He has one in this of like he's about to get married to Angela Means. She's actually called Veda. In this. She's about to get married, and it shows him like being shackled with chains. I guess every guy like obviously gets that kind of feeling like, all the women that I can get. It shows him in that, like, whilst he's like in the altar, he's walking down the aisle. After he's married Veda, he shows all these like beautiful, fine women there. And Tisha Campbell's in the mine, and Tisha Campbell Mine's on the piano. Sydney, she's on the piano, on the organ, like playing like this nice blues tune and that. And then like it cuts away and Kids wakes up, And what I got from that is, I felt like, and it touches it later on the story, which I thought that was the only real cool parts, when Sydney appears in this film, and Kid, that's where it was sit, because I really like how Kid and Tisha Campbell Martin, like Kid and Sydney, they very had good chemistry, So when they appeared in these scenes, it was in between House Party 2 and House Party 3, because like I said, immediately the film starts, Kid's just getting married. You don't really know what's like happened from House Party 2, because in House Party 2 he's just trying to graduate. He just moved into college. So there's nothing like Sylvester and Tweety mysteries in between. There's nothing in between. It's just all of a sudden, he's getting engaged, he's getting married, a lot of the people who are in the second one are not in this. And this goes on to another thing, In this film, I think it desperately misses Martin Lawrence's humor. He was obviously around this time, he was in the Martin TV series as Tisha Campbell Martin was. This may have been like, if it was 1994, I'm guessing this was the second season of Martin, because I could tell by what Tisha Campbell's hairstyle was. That's what she was wearing in that scene when I think Martin proposes to her. I don't know, man. Let me know if anyone remembers that, But I feel like it desperately needs Martin, because there's a guy who basically they put inside of this film, because like they've got Kid and Play, and they've got like the lackey, that kind of like the slapstick humor, and they got this other dude who his name escapes me at the moment. He's called Stinky or Funky. They basically used him just because they couldn't get Martin Lawrence, So it's just this. He's just not the same level. I can't even waste like a day on him. It's like he's just like it would have been better if they just removed that character completely, man. Because him in there, whilst Kid and Play are doing, because Kid and Play in this film, their idea is basically like they've been in the music industry and they're trying to become producers, you know, and they see, you know, with House Party, the first one especially, the premise was really about the actual house party. You get what I mean? Like getting in there, and they spent more time about there. You know what I mean? Like what kids were actually doing in the 90s when their parents weren't around. You know, what kind of music, the styles they were wearing, like, and you know, all that jiff and jams were there. You know, with the third one, it's all about like getting to the bachelor party, which really happens like at the last climax. You know what I mean? Like the last 20 minutes of the film. All before is just this senseless, like, you know, irritable, soft. Like this guy I just mentioned, this stinky guy. You know, there's a few they basically slaps all the guys who were in Def Comedy Jam in this film. Had to like make cameos. You know, even you know, I'm gonna obviously go on to the guy who really saved this film, Kalia Smith, who was the fine ass black chick who appeared in the Bernie Mac show, and obviously. Speaking about Bernie Mac, if I can get him, the Don, the Grand Poobah right here, you know, one of the only really reasons anyone you could even need to pick on House Party 3 is obviously because of the Mac. Like, I honestly cannot disagree with them, you know. Because I've watched House Party 3, I used to have the VHS cassette show, their commercials. I was big fan of them, so I followed them. But like once I watched House Party 3 always felt to me, obviously it was a film that just didn't need to be made, you know. Every time I've always sat down and put, you know, the third installment of the House Party, I'll always kind of find something else to do, man. You know what I mean? I'll start like checking my phone for any text messages, you know, I may even start ironing some bed sheets, whatever. Like the disinterest that this film presents is astonishing, man. Especially how, you know, pumped up the first part of the series was. You know, this one, there's so many times that you're just like, let me go do something else, you know, because it's really not an interesting film. You know, even like I've just explained to you the synopsis of the film. That's all it is. It's literally just a bachelor party that they've got at the end. And, you know, obviously like Sydney, she appears here and there, you know, and like Angela Means, who's playing Veda, you know, she still thinks like obviously Kid has feelings for Sydney, which I think he does. Like the main highlight of this film is Bernie Mac, you know, God rest his soul. You know, when he was in this thing, I think this must have definitely come on after that, you know, that groundbreaking performance he did on the Def Comedy Jam. You know, his first, I think it was either the first or second time he appeared on the Def Comedy Jam when he said, "I ain't scared of you." You know what I mean? Yeah, that one. Yeah, the one that he killed it. You ain't said it, but yeah, that one we killed it when, you know, Kid Capri was on the DJ, man. I ain't scared of you, mother. You know. I think Chris Tucker was on there, who actually makes an appearance in this, because I think it was his first debut appearance in film altogether. You know, this is obviously just before Friday, which I'm going to talk about later. But what I really love with Bernie Mac, specifically, Bernie Mac, he always brought that kind of like old school humor. You know, I think he was definitely of that generation of like Robin Harris. Robin Harris was in the first House Party, who was in Mobile Blues and also Do the Right Thing. You know, of that, like, you know, I'm a grown ass man. You know, that kind of dad who's like, man, I don't take any SHIT for you damn kids. Go out and get a job. Them kind of ones. Bernie Mac was that kind of one. You know, like, you know, I'm a man. I'm the father of this house. I'm the captain of this ship. That was how Bernie Mac was. And the first time he's introduced, that's when I started to get interested in the film, you know, because he brought that energy that was in the first House Party, you know. Other than that, it's like when he's not on screen, it feels like the actor's in there just to collect the paycheck, man. To be honest, man, the chapter ended here. The idea of like Kid and Play they were meant to be that they weren't gangster rappers, you know. They were about positive, you know, reinforcements in the black community. They were the other side. They weren't Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg. They were more obviously heavily like Fresh Prince and DJ Jazzy Jet. Because again, this is the same time, you know, like, remember, some people obviously gotta remember that Kid and Play actually blew up before Will Smith. You know what I mean? Will Smith, when he was on the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, he was there from like not paying tax, man. He was broke as a mofo. You know what I mean? So it's like he basically had to do that. That was a make or break show. You know, and it's only because it really hit. Because Will, whilst he was in that show, he was really taking it seriously, learning how to act. You know, and obviously he had that goal to be one of the biggest blockbuster actors ever. You know, and look what he done. He is like, with him, he got his success much later than Kid and Play. You know, Kid and Play got a lot of, like, the House Party 1 was such a phenomenal hit. You know, and to go from 0 to 100 sometimes too soon can sometimes be a problem. Sometimes people don't really handle that because they were on top, and it's like with coming to this film, it's just like where it really ended, you know, because even because I'm going to talk about the soundtrack, which is heavily mentioned later, but like the idea of it's like he's getting married, and like even in the film, it's like Kid and Play are not trying to become like music stars, you know, they're just trying to produce these new, you know, rappers, you know, because also the group Immature appears in this, you know, with Marcus Houston when he was, this before Sister guys. So he appeared in there with I don't know the other two artists in there, but he was inside there. So like it's like they went from like being aspiring stars to more producers, and just like the calm tone in this, you know, like I think this was definitely that time where, you know, that kind of new jack swing and that funk went more into that gangster rap, you know. And as I was explaining the soundtrack, you know, the soundtrack is really cool. You know, they got the music from the film, and they got actually a really nice one which I put at the start of this video called like Here and Now, you know, which is just sung by Kid. And Kid's basically saying like, you know, how they struggled and clawed to get all the way to their break, which was obviously House Party, you know, becoming, you know, stars, you know, but they said they would rather leave the game than be something that they're not, you know, because these were never gangsters, you know, which I loved. You know, I've always been more of a fan of the Kid and Plays and Will Smiths of the world, you know, Queen Latifah. You know, I wasn't really, you know, I wasn't really too much with the, you know, ninja, you know, like that gangster thing. It was sometimes it can get too excessive. You know what I mean? Like, Kid and Play weren't naughty by nature, let's just say. Because I think with sometimes a lot of these black artists, they always try to put them in one box. You know, so it was really nice that, you know, Kid and Play and the, you know, Fresh Prince and just DJ Jesse, that they kind of opened another door to, like, you know, just like the whole world, you know, like of perceptions of like black entertainment. The final saga, the final episode for, you know, the great rap group Kid and Play, because yeah, definitely after this, Kid and Play, I mean, they did appear in a few like guest spots over the years. I think Kid appeared in Sister, Play appeared in, you know, like cameos here and there, but like to make another House Party, you know, and that's where it came up. This, you know, this is really, me being easy on this is very like it's like I've been lying in my teeth to say like this is a good film, because it really isn't. It is total garbage. It's you know, I wonder how long it even took to film this, you know, because like I said, a lot of the big issue I have with this is, you know, with the first one, there were scenes like they were actually acting. You know what I mean? Like when Robin Harris was talking to Kid on the bed about like, you need to stop focusing on these gals and focus on the books. You're gonna make them the same mistake I did. You know what I mean? It was that serious kind of like, it's still like a fun film, but it was that serious kind of tone of like, you know, what a lot of, especially like in our community, a lot of like, you know, guys, like they definitely want to chase more girls, you know, and they're really unfocused on making like their things happen, you know, like if they want to be like a music star, if they want to be like an actor, they kind of leave that behind, just chasing all these skirts. You know what I mean? So that was a very like serious message, you know, like, you know, yeah, you know, like trying to avoid that numbers game. With this, and this is what ties on this, this one over displays sexual imagery to a fault in this one. It is so crazy, like stuff like in the bachelor party. I remember there's a video of like the grandma who's basically in the house with kid, like she takes care of like immature, and that she's watching like she's watching adult videos on the TV of that these two couple like having fun. And it's like, you have these young kids like immature chatting up these full-grown women. I remember Chili one time, like straight up asked kid like, "Oh, I want a slow screw on the wall." You know what I mean? It's like it was just like it pushed like too much on like just like the sex thing. You know what I mean? It was like it was way in your face, rather than that kind of subtlety that was in the first one. Because the first one was definitely more like with the first one, it was definitely showing like these lots of talent. You know what I mean? Like how can they play? And remember Tisha Campbell and AJ Johnson, who I think is even missing from this. I really love what was it? AJ, Sydney is that nice chocolate sister. Was in the first house party. Those epic dance moves. Like when they kind of play first the kick steps, that epic dance filming, that epic dance scene in the first one, it is sorely missing from this. This film has none of that. All that like new jet swing, all those cool moves. Like how kid used to do the splits. Play used to do the splits and kid jump off him and then he'd do a splits. All that classic rap battle that's in the first one, it's gone. There is none of that. They go to the bachelor party at the end and like there's a small number, kid and play like, doing a rap with TLC. But like other than that, like there's no real joy out of this film that you're gonna watch it. It's a lot of people would definitely be, because the biggest issue is this has definitely been remastered, so you can watch this in the comfort of watching it on a nice like HD TV. Class Act to this day, has still always had like a VHS kind of recording. They've never ever changed it to like a 720p that you can watch it now on a big screen. So as far as I know, someone tell me if I'm wrong, it's still like a VHS kind of like how you watch it. It's very very unwatchable sometimes. So it's film. But yeah, honestly, I would say anyone, like if they've if anyone's watched if anyone had the courage to stick 1 hour and 30 minutes to watch this, but like to be in the same series as House Party, one, I'll even put two, because like I said, I'm a fan of the first one. Definitely Class Act, I think that's a cool film, but this film just felt like and obviously I forgot to mention they somehow made a fourth one, which I don't even want to tread that water, man. Like I know it's featuring Immature and Megan Good, scrumptious. She's in that one as well, so I don't know if that film exists to that. It was hard to me to even review this, so to go on to that film, because the problem with this film is this actually, and I don't even really check it, Rotten Tomatoes gave this a 0%. I mean? So it's very difficult when I do these reviews to try balance it out and say like, oh, this is a good part in the scene, because the only good parts I can mention is when Tisha Campbell appears in this, because it does bring those them kind of like memories from like the first House Party and the second one, even when like kid appears in the Wine TV series, what I mean? It does bring that kind of like family theme. But with this film, it's like they just move on. In some ways they act like House Party 2 and 1 never existed, man. Like it's just like you just got Angela Means is playing the girl that kid's gonna get married to. That's all that matters at the end, and they end up getting married. Then all that was there before, like him trying to get the money from so Showtime can't whoop their ass, or like trying to get like TLC to sign that record deal. It's just it was very minuscule in this film, and it's like me as a viewer, I never really cared. When I first watched House Party, I was always there for like these cool, cool dancing moves, man, and the music that they were playing in. And it's like for this, it's just like none of it is ever presented in this film. It's like man, it's like 1 hour 30 minutes, 1 hour 20 minutes, nothing. It's one of them things you can't really wait till the credits come on, so you can just like go back. But you know what you're expecting, man. If you come in there for those flashy like dance moves and all those cool melodies and tunes that were done in not even just House Party, but a lot of those dancing kind of 90s films and also TV shows from all them artists, if you're looking for that, it's definitely not in this film, man. You would definitely be better just watching like, if you can get class act, you know what I mean. Obviously, nothing touches the first one, but if you can even watch class act, maybe try watch House Party 2 again. You'd be better off with those. But like, yeah, try. Avoid this. It's not everything. You may even start to hate Kid and Play. And God, we all don't want to hate Kid and Play, man. These are legends in the black culture. They changed like a big landscape of like how like people view like entertainment and the way how to like actually have a successful and fun house party.
Alright folks, so there you have it. That was my review of House Party 3 from, again, filmed in 2018, emerged. But to be honest, like my views on this haven't really changed too much. I don't think this film is necessary, especially how classic was and still is. This is one of the movies from one of the projects from Kid and Play I at least returned to. I just don't think it captured the same essence of the first three. As I said, I honestly see House Party 1. I think they needed another installment, and I know, of course, I know when they did it as well. But as I said 5 years ago in this review, that is pretty much the end of Kid and Play, because New Jack's thing started to transition into gangster rap and more of that folk type of music. It was finally the time to end it, and honestly, I appreciate what Kid and Play have offered. So yeah, folks, as I said, like in this review 5 years ago, my viewpoints haven't really changed so much. I just believe that the House Party just failed to live to the expectations, and I don't think this film really has rewatchability. It's the least I don't think ever. I do feel in that Kid and Play type of mood, I really return back to that. Yes, folks, once again, thank you so much for taking time to watch this video. Make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Looking forward to 2024, and just remember, as always, money never sleeps. Neither do